Hi guys, welcome back to the Scottish Gaming Rebels. I'm everybody's favourite host, the SkinnyRebel. Now obviously guys, if you've been here before, you've seen some of our content and you might have pressed the subscribe button and that like button. If you have, you're an absolute legend. And if it's your first time visiting our channel, why not click those two buttons and become a certified legend, just like our subscribers. Before we get into today's video, I would like to do a few special Twitch mentions. First up, we have Just Jaeger, who at the moment is streaming Elden Ring, Dying Light, and sometimes throws a bit of Rugby 22 into the mix. His chat is full of banter and his content is absolutely amazing, so guys, make sure to hit him up on Twitch. Next up, we have Scottish Streams, who's currently streaming Destiny 2. His streams are absolute quality and he has good sense of humour, so make sure you're also checking him out. Next we have Reaper's Rebels, who's run by yours truly, your favourite of course. It's up to you guys whether or not you find me funny, you should, or else. So make sure to check me out what we run there on Twitch, where I stream anything you guys want me to stream, within reason. Now lastly, we have Scottish Gaming Rebels, run by the fat man himself. Now obviously he has one video so far, make sure to show your support over there as well as the other channels mentioned. Now on that note, let's get into today's review. Today's review will be a review of my review on Carrion, because I don't think I've done enough on the last time, so without further ado, let's crack on with today's review. Carrion is a pixelated side-scrolling reverse horror game. Carrion puts players in the role of its own anomalous creature, a subtle agonist of massive mouths, teeth and tendrils that move like a sentient wad of spaghetti. Meat possessed by some eldritch horror, looks like it should be the end of boss in this sort of adventure, not the hero of it. The plot itself is fairly straightforward. You're an extraterrestrial entity that is discovered by agents of a shadow biotech corporation and subject to a battery of invasive and humiliating experiments. But one day you break free of the contaminant chamber and immediately begin to rip and tear through everyone and everything in your single-minded pursuit of escape. Imagine, if possible, a version of Ape Out filtered through the body horror of John Carpenter's The Thing. This isn't the first time someone has tried this kind of switch in pop culture, let alone evoked comparisons to Carpenter's 1982 classic. Peter Watts published a short story called The Things in 2010 that retells the events of that film, except this time from the point of view of its titular monster. In the 7th paragraph of The Things, the nameless creature that describes itself as among several other titles, the very hand by which creation perfects itself, reflects back to the excruciating pain it endured during the violent shipwreck stranded on a planet. There is no name for what you are in Carrion. The creature from The Thing is the right hand of creation. You're the left hand of vengeance, melting out and punishing and extracting the price of cruelty from each and every one of your hapless would-be human captors. It's hard to talk about Carrion without bringing up other games and movies, because it borrows so much, so well, and remixes the elements together with gusto. Carrion itself, in many ways, feels like a spiritual successor to Midway's monster arcade series Rampage, where players control giant creatures patterned after kaiju movie monsters that ruin skyscrapers and devour bystanders, while channeling 2017's Rain World Worming through the Byzantine pipework of vast and inscrutable megastructure, seemingly spanning several different continents and climates in a quest for survival. I felt powered from the game in opening seconds, due to the way I'm able to use my tentacles to open doors, grab humans to pull forward at one of my many hungry gaping mouths and yank grating off the wall and flinging at my enemies. I crawl and glide across the floors and ceilings of a vast network of interconnected research facilities, pouncing on my human adversaries and acquiring new abilities by cracking open biomass containers I discover along the way. But evolution comes at a cost. Certain abilities are suppressed in order to make way for new ones as you grow in size and assimilate more biomass. I often had to shed pieces of myself in shallow bodies of water to regain these abilities and continue moving forward, selectively evolving and developing my body in response to my next goal. However, this emphasis on experiential navigation is held back by the frustration of a lack of any form of minimap in the game to keep track of where you've been. This is no big deal in the beginning, sure, when the world's wide open and everything's for the taking, but things quickly turn tedious when you're tracking down the last optional upgrades or even the final selection of the game, where you have nothing to rely on to navigate the sprawling hub world, save your own sporty memory. The opposing humans evolve as well. Unfortunately, helpless office workers and armed security guards are quickly replaced by armoured soldiers carrying electrified body shields and flamethrowers, flying drones with sharpened saw blades, and hulking bipedal mechs with Gatling guns that all stand between my slimy flesh and the outside world. Different threats require different tactics, so I always have to make sure I'm the one managing my hideous well. Losing and gaining powers is the most strategic way possible. My health is displayed at the top of the screen, and early in the game I can be taken out by just a few shots from my human opposition. The good news is his healing is simple as eating more human victims, who probably should have known this, how this was all going to end up. Everything about the game reinforces the reality and the fleshy horror of my orifice-covered body. From its opening screen to its iconic Nintendo Switch dashboard, you can't even see your progress by shoving parts of your own biomass into cracks scattered below across the bedrock of the facility, then blossom into grotesque orifices of heaving flesh and teeth that replenish her health and tear open new pathways between obstacles. It's disgusting, it's awesome. Carrion's tone strikes a chord between horror and gruesome slapstick. As I prey on my unsuspecting victims at their most vulnerable, often hunched intensely over a keyboard, even while they're sitting in the restroom, all hell breaks loose as soon as they see me. Unarmed humans will either run screaming, falling down helplessly as they attempt to shut doors between themselves and my shining tentacles, or stand trembling in a fit of fear, inducted paralysis. The more foolhardy of humans equipped with more guns than common sense will do their best to play the hero. Unfortunately for them, this isn't that type of game. Enemies disintegrate into sputtering geysers of pixelated blood as I pull them apart with my teeth and tentacles, slamming their mangled bodies against the floors and ceilings of my prison. Carrion's sound design and score are just as impressive, with discordant violin strings and ominous trumpets providing background music for the shrill screams and squelching sounds of biological destruction. The lashing whipcord noises of my tentacles as I scramble across a corridor or descending into a sewer grate never gets old. I feel like an apex predator, even in this vast and alien environment, flying down hallways at the speed of a banshee with the insatiable drive to rip and tear anything apart that has the misfortune of being alive and moving. No matter how challenging a particular puzzle or mini-boss encounter might be, it doesn't feel like anything is nearly smart or powerful enough to keep me down for long. I am inevitable, yet squishy. Not much in the way of exposition or explicit plot beats when it comes to Carrion's story, but the game does manage to throw some curveballs by having me occasionally play as one of the human scientists who first discovered the creature. These flashback sections play like, and feel like reminiscent of the level design and character animations of old cinematic platforms, like 1991's Another World or the original 1999 Prince of Persia. Carrion communicates most of its major goals entirely through its environment designing and designing puzzles, ditching any formal objective screen. Scrolling LED Chirons signal to humans awareness and correspond in response to the threat of my presence, while the animation of each new save point often cuts away to show sealed hatches slowly being peeled apart from the inside by tiny tentacles as I grow larger and more formidable. Other recent games have tried to show the world through the eyes of someone you thought was an enemy, making the point that we was considered monstrous and extremely relative. The difference is that Carrion dives into this idea with all its power and weight, finding joy in a theme that might have been muddling in different hands. I exist only to destroy and escape, and I have done both. So, with that guys, I would rate this game a solid 8 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and make sure to hit a like or subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.